So guys, well, this is a free session of places in news, and we'll be continuing this series for 5 classes. We'll start with Americas, then we'll go to Europe, after that Africa, and then 2 days of Asia, because Asia is a major part and it requires 2 days. And one thing that we have to understand, when we are doing PY, like places in news, we are not just doing places in news, we'll be doing mapping, we'll be doing cultural aspect of it, and like every other thing that can be asked, and it is all based on PYQs, right? Second is that please take copious notes. I'll give you some task, do this, and if you like, just give me 5 classes, 2 hours each, 10 hours, and you go home, and the work that I'll ask you to do those things, because mapping does not mean that you just do classes. Mapping का मतलब है ना, वो maths जैसा है, like you have to go visit, revisit, बार-बार देखना होता है, then it gets imprinted in your mind, right? My job is that why it is important, what are the areas you have to focus, but your job is to go and revise, go and again and again and again, and you have to visit that places, right? So if you give those 5 classes, like whatever questions, and UPSC does not ask arbitrary questions, trust me. They don't, like, there's this kind of a rumor that they ask kahin se pooch leta hai. No, when they are asking question on, let's say, conflict areas, like, you know that they're asked questions from conflict areas, so they refer to which website? They refer to which website to make questions of that? Have you anybody? So this is analysis. So it's called conflict tracker. Everybody should go through this conflict tracker every day for next 4-5 days. Go through this conflict tracker. It's so brilliantly done, right? So so whichever question that UPSC has asked as of now, where there is a conflict, it is from this particular website, conflict tracker. Okay. So coming back to the point, so give me those 5 days, and this particular session is based on your PYQs, based on your current affairs, and UPSC will not ask questions beyond this. ठीक है? ठीक है. Okay. So first, today's session will be on the Americas. We'll cover all the 3 sections of Americas. We'll have our North America, Central America, and Southern America. Now you know that why it is in the news. Like, बहुत सारे घटना घट रही है, ठीक है? And more than that, you have to understand, beyond the news that is coming on Americas, UPSC is again asking questions on Americas. If you remember Plato's Lagoon, right? They have asked question on that. Then they had asked question on this. There was another question. We'll see the questions. Okay. They have asked questions on Canada and US border, has the largest border, right? Okay. So like they're asking now questions on America. So we'll start with Americas. The first thing which is in the news is that Greenland is at the center of the Arctic geopolitics. Okay, because what are the reasons? 2 reasons. First, that obviously the Americans Trump wanted to get hold of Greenland. This is the first reason. Second reason is, for the first time, now this is important, for the first time, European countries have sent troops to Greenland. If you are following news, European countries have sent troops to Greenland to counter any kind of incursion that happens in Greenland. So a NATO country is sending troops so as to make sure that another NATO country don't act, right? It's a big news. So these are the 2 reasons, right? So what are some of the, UPSC asked about largest, right? Smallest, deepest, Lake Baikal question पूछा था, right? Then they have asked a question on this, if you remember, Lake Superior, Equator passes. Lake Superior, why it is famous? It is the largest lake in Africa. Sorry, not Victoria. So Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa. So it passes, Equator passes through that. They have asked question on Tonle Sap. You have heard this term, Tonle, Tonle Sap. Why Tonle Sap is important? What is the reason? Tonle Sap, this term. It's the largest freshwater lake in where? Largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia, right? Okay, now they have asked question, as we discussed. They have asked question on Plato's Lagoon. why it is like, again, what is like largest, longest, what it is? It's one of the largest inland lagoon in the world, right? Second largest lagoon in the world. Second largest like normal lagoon, but inland lagoon it's the largest, right? So like again, largest, the superlatives, UPSC asks questions. So in case of Greenland, it is the largest island. Now there's a confusion. People will say, "Ki, Australia is no, Australia is a continent, right?" With regards to the island, it's the largest island, right? So it is located between the Arctic Ocean and North Atlantic Ocean. Now this is very important. Remember North Sea, which are the countries which borders North Sea, right? Here also they might ask a question, ki, which are the like countries or which are the oceans which within which we have the Greenland. So let's see. So here we have Greenland, right? Okay, we have identified Greenland. So there is your Arctic Ocean and here is your North Atlantic Ocean. So Greenland is very cozily sitting here. Okay? And we'll go through each and every topics, like each and every terms which here is important. Don't worry. Okay? Now, right? It is separated from Canada by Baffin Bay and Davy Strait. Now this is very important, Baffin Bay and Davy Strait. They might ask a question, where is Baffin Bay and where is Davy Strait? So let's see, where is Baffin Bay? So we have Baffin Bay over here and we have Davy Strait over here, right? So usually the name of straits and bays are named after places which is nearby, right? Which is, for example, which is the largest bay in the world? Bay of Bengal. So Bengal, right? और ये नाम कौन देते हैं? ये homework. Because again, important, Gulf of America, Gulf of Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, right? So it was an executive order, but the name did not change. Why the name did not change? Which particular institution or organization gives this name? Your homework to find out. Okay? Clear? Okay. So Baffin Bay and Davy Strait. Baffin Bay, it's near your Baffin Island. Okay? And so you have your Davy Strait here. Now another important, very important, Labrador Sea. Here you have Labrador. Labrador is part of which country? Canada. The region is called Newfoundland, right? It is, and why it is famous? Dog lovers? Labrador dog, but Labrador dogs were not found here. Labrador dogs were actually brought from here to UK. They were trained as a dog. Speciality was that the Labrador dogs are a very good, military dogs, right? They were trained in UK, but because they were brought from Labrador, in their name it is given. Another important reason why Labrador is important. Anybody? Huh? Yes, Labrador fish and current, Labrador current. Labrador current is what current? Hot or cold? Cold. Sure? Cold? Pakka? Cold? कहाँ से आता है Labrador current? So this is Labrador. It comes from here. It's a cold current. यहाँ से भी थोड़ा आता है, ठीक है? It's a cold current. ठीक है? Clear everybody? ठीक है? Okay. Now, and look, the thing is that we are understanding this. If you don't go and revise, you will forget everything. Okay? Now let's see the region over here. So this is Greenland, right? You have your Iceland over here, your Norway, then Sweden, Finland. Okay? It's abhi wo pura nahi aa raha hai. Okay? Then you have Norway ka part, Svalbard. Can anybody tell me why Svalbard is important? Seed bank. Excellent. India has sent some of their its crop seeds to this particular bank. And why? What is the reason why we have a gene bank or a seed bank over here? Low temperature, clean temperature, preservation, you are right. And India mein, is there a seed bank? कहाँ पर है? Changlar, yes, in Ladakh. In Ladakh mein, ठीक है. So because temperature is like similar, na? The condition is similar. So India we also have, but India has sent here also, Norway. And this is again very important. Now try to understand. UPSC might frame a question in this way, that how many countries are there in how many countries are there within the Arctic Circle? How many countries are there within the Arctic Circle? Jaldi, fatafat. 8 countries. Excellent. Which are the countries? Denmark. Iceland. Sweden. Norway. Finland, Russia.
UK.
Here US, but that's it, 8 countries. Here you will make mistake because they will put in UK. UK is not part of Arctic Council or Arctic Circle. Now another important thing you have to see here, it will be a bit difficult for me. Every country is, no country is completely within Arctic Circle. So if a question comes that Iceland is completely within Arctic Circle, it is wrong. And this is very fascinating. Iceland is a country, like name is Iceland, but the entirety of the Iceland is below your Arctic Circle. Entirety of Iceland is below your Arctic Circle, and there is one small island, Grimsey Island. Grimsey Island. Right. Grimsey Island, only that Grimsey Island lies beyond this Arctic Circle. And Arctic Circle is what? 66.5 degree north. Okay? Clear? Everybody? You will remember? So Iceland, the main, every other country, Sweden, Finland, Norway, US, Russia, all countries, I'm missing some, but Denmark, right? All the countries have a part of it within that 66.5 degree. But Iceland, every part of Iceland is beyond, like below 66.5 degree. Only one island which is there is Grimsey Island. Okay? And Grimsey Island is like 5, like it's very small island, very minuscule island. Okay? Okay? Now another important thing over here. देखो Denmark नीचे है, यहाँ पर Denmark is here, right? Denmark is below here, but Greenland or Iceland. So Denmark is somewhere here, but here you have Iceland, here you have Greenland. So UPSC might frame a question कि ये correct statement हो सकता है कि the strait which divides Greenland and separates Greenland and Iceland is Denmark Strait. Now you might be confused, अरे Denmark तो नीचे है. But no, it's true. The Denmark Strait actually separates to these two region, right? Clear? You will not make mistakes over here. ठीक है? Denmark Strait है यहाँ पर. Now एक एक करके हम लोग seas देखते हैं. ठीक है? Look, Norway, Norwegian Sea, everybody will remember. Everybody will remember Norway, Norwegian Sea. Then you have Bering Sea, very important. Then you have Bering Sea. Here you will have Kara Sea. कहाँ पर? Kara कहाँ है? Bering है. अच्छा उसके नीचे है. Just a second. Tell me, is it visible? Is visible, everybody? ठीक है. So you have your Bering Sea over here. You have your Kara. ये लारा नहीं, Kara होगा. Kara Sea. Then here you have Laptev Sea. ठीक है. अच्छा, another, try to understand the language of the names. Laptev, EV, Russian है. ठीक है. So it's part of Russia. ठीक है. So try to understand. We'll see in case of American, Portuguese, Spanish names. So can we identify just understanding the names? ठीक है. So try to understand. Like D से start end हो रहा है ना, तो it is like Slavic and Russian names. So it is Laptev is near Russia. ठीक है. Then you have your East Siberian Sea, obviously, right? East Siberian Sea. Siberia is in Russia. Beaufort Sea. Beaufort is an English name. English name, so it is part of Canada, right? Then you have, obviously, Baffin Bay we have studied. Baffin again an English name. Davies again an English name, right? So these are all like these are all travelers. I'll tell you like fascinating history also, okay, right? Okay, so these are the sea. I'll repeat again. So you have your Bering Sea, Kara Sea, and here you have your Laptev Sea, right? Then, हाँ, ऊपर Chukchi Sea है. Like I don't know how is it pronounced. Chukchi, Chukchi Sea, right? उसके नीचे the English terms come. Beaufort. Then you have your Baffin, Davis Strait. ठीक है? You will remember if they say which are the seas which are found here. ठीक है? Okay. Now tell me, where does your magnetic North Pole pass through? So this is your North Pole. Where does UPSC has asked a question? Magnetic equator के बारे में पूछा था. Magnetic equator actually passes through India. ठीक है? Which region? India. Magnetic equator. Thumbi. Right? So in magnetic north. So North Pole, we know this is North Pole, and this entire region surrounds North Pole. This is 6.5 degrees, half degree, right? But where does magnetic equator pass through? Does it pass through here through North Pole? Through North Pole? No, of course not. So वो magnetic नहीं रहेगा. Now understand. Initially, so magnetic North Pole actually changes. Initially, it used to pass through Canada. Okay? Now it passes through Arctic Ocean. It passes through Arctic Ocean and it's not aligned to the North Pole, and gradually it is shifting towards Siberia, Russia. Okay? If UPSC asks question in this regard, कि magnetic North Pole is situated in Greenland or in your Canada or Greenland, no, it is not. Magnetic North Pole is in Arctic Ocean and it is gradually shifting towards Siberia. Clear till here? Any question? अभी नहीं आएगा question. ठीक है, these are all facts. So, like understanding is important. Understanding is important. ठीक है? Okay. ठीक है. So now, so lies northeast, as I've told you, northeast of Canada. So here is Canada, northeast of Canada, and northwest of Norway. ठीक है? Northwest of Iceland. So here, northwest of Iceland. Now, this term, GIUK term. Can anybody tell me like what it is? GIUK? Today we'll learn about two gaps. GIUK gap and Darien gap. These are in the news. Why GIUK is in the news and like Darien will come. Why GIUK is in the news? Come on, jaldi, फटाफट. हमें 2 घंटे में complete करना है. We'll finish off Americas in 2 hours. एक right, that is linked, but why it is in the news? Why GIUK is in the news? Wind energy, I'll tell you. So GIUK gap, this is not a geographic term. Trust me. This is like remember, this is not a this is a strategic term. This is a strategic term, and UPSC will frame a question where you have heard about GIUK gap. Right? Now, 2 things, very important. I'll go to a history of it and I will explain this. During World War II, what happened was that America was, that initially they were not participating. Later on, they were forced to participate. Right? One of the major reasons was the Pearl Harbor bombing. When was the bombing of Pearl Harbor had taken place? Which year? 1941, right? Okay, now coming back to the point. So once the Americans entered the arena, the warfare's arena, what happened was Germany wanted to again attack America, and so they could not have attacked through here initially, because when did France fell to Germany? Which year? Homework. I also forgot. But because here you have United Kingdom, because here you have France, this is United Kingdom, and UPSC had asked a question on Normandy. Remember? Normandy, Sardinia. So I will give you a hint. Whenever a name is ending with Nia or IA, it's an Italian name. Right? Remember this. Okay? When it is there is a predominance of N, it is ending with NIA. It's an Italian name. Okay? So this is your Normandy. This is your English Channel, right? So because United Kingdom, they were allied forces, United Kingdom and France were together, right? So Germans could not send their U-boats. U-boats were the boats one of the famous warfare machines of the Germans, which they actually, threatened the entire world through U-boats. So what they thought, they will send via this gap, right? They will send via this gap. But unfortunately, what happened? United Kingdom came to rescue, because United Kingdom played a major role in drowning these U-boats over here, right? So this region became your strategic, an important strategic region. So GIUK full form क्या है? Greenland, I for Iceland, and UK is United Kingdom. Clear? This became your strategic point of entry and exit. And this is another reason why Trump wants this. But yes, apart from, there are other two reasons. Trump wants the so-called, possession of Greenland because of this region. Because abhi Germany will not attack. Who will attack? This guy. And why? What is this particular term, Murmansk? Why it is famous? Murmansk. They might ask a question. Murmansk, where it is and why it is famous. It is the ice-free port of Russia. 12 months it is ice-free port. And here you have Kola Peninsula. Why Kola Peninsula is famous? One of the largest deposits of minerals, coal, petroleum, you have your, rare earth. Okay? Kola Peninsula, remember it is in Russia. Kola. Remember with the Kola, Koila, okay? Russia. Okay? Somewhere like this. You use your mnemonics. Okay? Mnemonics is very personal. You use your mnemonics. Okay? Port is Murmansk, Murmansk. Again, you will identify by the name. SK is there, like NSK, so it's Russian. So it will not be a problem, right? So this is the reason why this GIUK gap is important. And two things here. As I said, why Trump wanted this particular region. One was your GIUK gap. Ye question aa sakta hai. What is the second reason? So this is a kind of a choke point, major natal choke point. Okay? In your mains, choke point will be important, not in prelims. What are the? Can you give me 5 major choke points of the world? 5. Jaldi se, fatafat. Because you should be knowing. Abhi chal raha hai. 5 major choke points of the world. Hormuz hai. Second. Malacca Strait. Then. Ye hai. GIUK is there. Then. Panama, actually, Atlantic is like the US is the king of Atlantic. So Panama is strategic. Environmentally, it is important because abhi dry ho raha hai wahan par. Like it's becoming very difficult. What is an? Suez Canal. Excellent. Gibraltar bhi again, like it's primarily wahan par NATO hai. Like strategically, I will not say that Gibraltar is very important. Can we see up, like think of any strait in Southeast Asia, South China Sea? It has been in the news, they might ask a question. The strait, actually, in English, if you translate, the strait means beautiful. It is a Portuguese term. Formosa. Formosa means beautiful. In Portuguese, it's a Taiwan strait, right? So that is also important. Because why? Because again, China has ingressed Formosa Strait. Okay? Because they consider Taiwan as their own country. Chalo, not important. Okay. So strategic importance, influence, control over emerging Arctic Sea. Achha, another thing, what is another reason why the Arctic Sea will see? It has been conjectured by 27, it will be ice-free, 12 months ice-free. Okay? So because it's ice-free, sea lanes open, right? Achha, another thing, it has one of the world's largest rare earth element deposits. Largest rare earth. Now, like I want to stay here because rare earth is very important. बहुत सारे questions आए UPSC में. Some of the factual are like 70 to 80% of 65% of the supply is controlled by which country? China, right? Okay. Now these two. So if you remember in 25, there was a news that China has banned around 7 REE, like critical minerals, right? 2 of them are very important: dysprosium and neodymium. UPSC might ask a question. Dysprosium and neodymium. They might ask a question, right? And neodymium to matlab bahut baar news mein hai. Now, can you tell me why neodymium is important and why dysprosium is important? Yes, dysprosium, neodymium is a supermagnet. It's a supermagnet, but we have to understand dysprosium. Dysprosium has 3 benefits. Number 1 benefit, that neodymium maintains its magnetic property at a high temperature because of dysprosium. Number 1. Second is, dysprosium is a very good, this nuclear rods, right? They absorb, right? So again, second is lighting. Dysprosium gives white light, right? It is used in lighting. So dysprosium is important. Neodymium, absolutely. Like neodymium is a permanent magnet. At high temperature, it maintains its magnetability, and because of that, it is used in EV motors, wind turbines, missile systems. Okay, dysprosium. Remember this: dysprosium and neodymium. They might ask a question. Okay. Okay. Now, I've seen this picture. People, very famous, right? Now, this is where UPSC will frame a question, and this is the trap. What is the trap? So this, in this picture, one of them is an idiot. Like, I'll leave it to your imagination who is, right? Now, so here you have here US flag, and there you have your, which flag? Greenland's flag, right? Denmark, right? So here you have a penguin, and the phenomenon was that is a nihilistic penguin. It was not following a herd. Nihilistic, from where does the term nihilistic comes? Huh? Nihil means zero. Nihil is a Latin term. Nihilistic means is a philosophy where is a part of an existential philosophy which means that everything is bad, right? Like perpetual sadness. So this is right, excellent. Perpetual sadness, right? But what is the main problem with this image? Penguins are not found in Greenland. Penguins are not found in Greenland. So where is it found? It is only found in southern hemisphere. But there is also an exception. So it is found in Australia. It is found in South America. It is found in New Zealand. So UPSC might ask. It is found in South Africa. It is found in obviously Antarctica. There is another place where it is found. Anybody? Only place which is found in above north, your equator, to an extent. Galapagos Island. Galapagos Island. Some of the penguins cross over to the northern hemisphere, but it is again in the southern hemisphere, it's near your equator. Now, why it is found in? Now, this is important. Why is one kind of penguin is found in Galapagos Island? What is the reason? What is the reason? Because penguin exist in cold currents. What is the reason why it is found in Galapagos Island? Because it's near equator. It's warm. Anybody? Yes, Humboldt Peruvian currents. Humboldt current is a cold current. Right? That is the reason why it is found. Only one kind of penguin is there. Otherwise, there is no penguins found in northern hemisphere. Okay. So 80% of it is covered by Greenland ice sheet. Lies mostly above 66. It's not all of it. Greenland, all of it does not lies. So if UPSC frame a question ki the entirety of Greenland lies above 66, no, it's not. The 2/3 of it lies above, of course. And this is important. Inuit. Right, Inuit and Kalalit. It's Kalalit. So Inuit is a broader tribal term. So Inuit people stay not only in Greenland, they are found in Alaska, they are found to a degree in your Canada, okay? But so Kalalit is those people who are found in Greenland. The people of Greenland are called Kalalit, okay? Now, Arctic fauna, polar bears. Do we find polar bears in Antarctica? Why? Geography student?
Lack of trees.
Lack of?
Trees. Or lack of...
Okay. It's an evolution thing. Allens? Yes, so there's an extremity. Another thing is that they evolved from brown where the evolution happened 500,000, recent evolution, but Greenland separated, your Antarctica separated much ago, before. So evolution of polar bear happened recently. Okay? If polar bear had evolved much ago, before the separation of your Antarctica, then probably you would have found polar bear. Polar bear is not found in below southern hemisphere. It is only found in northern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere में कहाँ मिलता है? Which area? Siberia. Obviously Arctic में we'll get it. We'll find it in Canada also. Alaska, right? Alaska, Canada. Clear? Boring हो रहा है class? सही चल रहा है? चलो. Okay. Now, so just a bit of history. So Greenland is not completely sovereign. It is part of it. It gained its home rule in 1979, and in 2009, what happened was that it achieved self-governing status. So, like remember modern Indian history, right? So, foreign policy, your monetary policy, and your defense, they were given to the center. Here, these three things have been given to Denmark, okay? And hence Denmark Strait. Remember it in that way, okay? Clear? This image is clear. You'll go and revise, please revise, and like if question comes. So there is a PYQ. This was asked in 1993. ऐसे करके we have to analyze, right? People are laughing. I'll tell you, 2000. This 25. There was a question on. We'll see the question. Nome and Anadir. If you move from Anadir to Nome, you lose a day or gain a day. You know, when was the question asked? UPSC asked this question 4 times. 1996, 2008, 9, and there was another year, I'm forgetting. So, utne piche, like if you have done your PYQs, 30 years of PYQs, I'm telling you, like these are the hidden treasure we don't actually notice. Jo bhi hai, 93. So, can we identify by the term ki Nunatak has to be like unglaciated island bedrock formally? Right. So, Nunatak is, this is correct. Sarki is correct. Coal is wrong. Narrow, sharp edge ridge in the mountain. Question, what is it? If it is not coal, what is the answer? So, Nunatak, coal and fjord are correct. Coal is incorrect. Narrow, sharp edge ridged in mountain. NCRT, guys. What is it? Huh? It is an erosional feature. Huh?
Gaps or passes.
Arits. Arits, remember, it's like knife-like ridge. Arits. So, arits is your narrow, sharp edge ridge in the mountain glaciers. Erosional platform. Okay? Erosional landform. So, it's not coal. So, Nunatak is correct. Unglaciated island of bedrock. Formerly or currently surrounded by ice. It is present in both. Okay? Because it's a name of a feature. Name of a feature is present in your Antarctic as well as Arctic. Okay? Chalo, next region. Arctic region. Again, important. Arctic region will cover both here in Europe also. Europe also in a different way. In Arctic region will cover. Now, why Arctic is in news? First summer on records that okay, we have to hurry a bit, like we are taking time, right? Jaldi se karte. So Arctic region, it is in the news because 2027 they are saying that like the sea ice will go, like it will be completely navigable, right? Right. So this is the reason why it is in the news. Or Nature Communications, a very popular, very prestigious magazine. Nature, like if somebody follows geography or environment, this is a very prestigious publication, right? Okay. So now here we have to understand there are 2 passages. Why it is started? There are 2 passages. As of now, there is only one passage which is very popular and which is very which is used. What is that passage? Your northern sea route. Okay. When we'll be doing Bering Strait today, we'll understand. So northern sea route, यहाँ से जाता है, ठीक है, Bering Strait. So this is a northern sea route. So here है यहाँ, ठीक है. Now because the ice are melting, 2 more sea routes are being sea routes are being seen as a potential, and India has shown, I think with Sweden, India has India has signed a deal or something like with regards to exploring these 2 passages. So northwest passage, and there is a northeast passage also. It's not written here. It's very simple. I'll tell you. So this is Denmark. ठीक है? Denmark यहाँ पर west है, Davy Strait. So this is a northwest passage. ठीक है? This is your northwest pole. This is northwest passage. Now it is not navigable because here you have ice, right? Because in 27 it will go ice free. This is northwest, right? And this is your northeast. ठीक है? So now this section is used by Russia, right? Now these 2 passages will open up. Northwest, northeast. Technically ये northwest और southeast होगा, but ठीक है. Get the point, right? हाँ? कौन सा? अच्छा, this is your Baffin Bay, Davy Strait, right? Davy Strait से जो जा रहा है वो आपका northwest passage होगा, ठीक है? And the one which is going through, what is this strait, guys? Remember? बताओ. What is this strait which separates ice? Denmark. Excellent. Denmark Strait. Excellent. तो Denmark Strait से जो जा रहा है तो that is your northeast, ठीक है, northeast. Now tell me something, southeast होगा actually, not northwest, southeast. Tell me something which is the current that Labrador current, ठीक है, Labrador current. Again, Iceland only which is the island which is present just at top of Grimsley, ठीक है, okay. So this is again, as I've said, कि polar bears are found in Arctic, not Antarctic. Penguins are not found in Arctic. ठीक है? I have shown you the seas, important seas. ठीक है? चलो next. हाँ, Arctic Council. UPSC has not asked question like, मतलब they have indirectly asked question, but directly Arctic Council के. But this is, trust me, this is one of the ineffective councils in the world. Why? अभी इसका members देखिए. Russia, United States. But this is one of the ineffective. I'll tell you why it is said that, like it's an ineffective, because this is one of the council. मतलब United Nations में भी ऐसे consensus नहीं आते. This is one of the council where there is a very, like when they come together, I don't know what happens, wisdom dawns on them or whatever happens, they come to a conclusion, they come to a consensus. इसमें, and that is one of the reason why जितने भी Bering Strait से जो passages होते हैं, ठीक है, there even because of US and Russia, there is such a tension, right? But there is no risk because of this particular Arctic State, because Arctic State Council. There's a categorical, process that is laid that no ship of the countries here, as well as, so India is a what member? Is India a member here? Is an associate member. Associate नहीं, but I'm forgetting the term. Associate member होगा शायद, ठीक है? But India is an associate member, right, of Arctic Circle, Arctic Council, ठीक है? So this was formed by Ottawa Declaration, ठीक है? Where it was formed? It was formed in 1996, and any decision has to be based on your consensus. So this is one of the ineffective. Why? Obviously, because there are certain areas where they are not coming to consensus. One is sovereign passage. They are not coming to decision. Number one. Second is climate change related issue, right? The use of icebreakers. Are like very detrimental to the climate. Because why? What happens if you are breaking ice? What stops? अगर हम लोग ice break करते हैं, क्या?
So that thermal layer insulation. CO2 emissions.
The ocean में ice breaking, वहाँ पर CO2 नहीं होगा. मतलब permafrost अगर आप मतलब करते हो, albedo, you're breaking up because snow has one of the highest albedos compared to water, ठीक है? So but icebreakers are used to clear pathway, ठीक है? But you're right, like in case of but I have to see, like I have to see whether like breaking of ice really lead to release of CO2, वो मुझे देखना होगा, like वो मुझे देखना होगा. But yes, permafrost has your carbon underneath it, right? तो वो तो
methane and all the emissions.
methane.
So carbon bed होता है ना,
You're, I think so. Like अभी वो ocean में जो हमारे जो ice sheets है, do you have methane and carbon in them also? We have to see, ठीक है? हाँ, there you can have. Though ancient glaciers जो है, she is saying, अच्छा ठीक है, तो हो सकता है, ठीक है. अच्छा, countries in Arctic, again parts of it. No country completely lies in the Arctic circuit, right? Now, you are talking about the devil, and devil has come, right? Russian president, US president, both meet at Anchorage, Alaska. So this is a place in news. Anchorage, Alaska. Okay? Now, do you know what happened in this particular region? Or like in this particular meeting? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. They came and Trump had to just same way what happened, like Trump did it in the last presidency. किसको like अभी तो Russian president, like last time whom did he meet? The hint is 30th parallel. Which 30th parallel divides which two countries? North Korea, South Korea. right? And he very famously he crossed that 30th parallel and like and he shook Kim Jong Un, right? And उससे क्या हुआ? Like what happened? वो rocket fire करते रहे, ठीक है? और यहाँ पर whatever it is, ठीक है? Now coming back to the point. So this particular meeting, it was a high level meeting, but like no decision came, no conclusion came, there was no consensus, nothing happened. Okay? But here what is important is Alaska. UPSC had asked question on Alaska, like not directly on Alaska, but UPSC had asked question on which country shares the longest borders, right? And why Alaska, like why US and Canada share the longest border, not because of the main continuous body, but Alaska. So you have like this. Right, I'll try to do an like MF Hussain drawing. Okay, pardon me. Okay, so you have here, then something like this, and then something like this, right? So this is one part. So here is Canada and here is US, and here you have there's an island. Here you have your Alaska. Okay, so this is the reason. This is the reason why it is the longest. And India shares its longest boundary with which country? Again, UPSC might ask. Not China. ठीक है? It shares because of what? Because of this ऐसे जा रहा है. ठीक है? Okay. Now, there are a couple of things we'll understand this here. So, US-Canada border is the longest international land border in the world. Number one. Second is longest undefended border. वहाँ पर सिर्फ ICE agents होते हैं. ठीक है? No army personnel stands in this. Who are the ICE agents? ICE agents are those agents like following news. Michigan में क्या हो रहा है? They're coming and picking up people. ठीक है? ICE agents are those agents, anti-immigration agents, right? So the only ICE agents. I remember one of my like acquaintance when she was crossing Canada to US. They have this ICE agents who are border patrols, patrol officers actually, and like she had to go through an hour of talking, मतलब पूछताछ जो होता है, questioning, ठीक है, and then only she could come to. But she had a visitor's visa, so like it was not a problem, ठीक है, okay. So it is located along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Tectonically, it is very active. Now this is a very fascinating fact. Alaska was sold by Russia to United States in 1867. Alaska purchase, right? It was actually sold for $18 million. And who was the person who sold it? And from there, they might ask a question. There's a place called Seaward Peninsula. We'll see that. Seaward Peninsula. Right. So Seaward Peninsula is part of US. And then there is a Chukchi Peninsula, which is part of, we'll see the name of the peninsula, which is part of Russia, and which is the strait dividing these two peninsula, Bering Strait. Okay? And so it's separated from Russia by Bering Sea. Show the picture. Clarity of it. So here you have your Canada, here you have your Alaska. So this is your Seaward Peninsula, this part. Okay. This is your Seaward Peninsula. This is your Chukchi Sea, very important, and it connects your Arctic Ocean with the which is this ocean? Pacific Ocean. Okay? You will remember Bering Strait, Chukchi Sea, and here you have your Pacific Ocean. Here you have your Chukchi Sea. Okay? And obviously this is Bering Sea, Bering Strait. And what is this group of islands? Huh? Guys? Aleutian Islands. Aleutian Islands. 90% of Aleutian Islands is under whose sovereignty? US. 90% of the islands are under the US. Only few islands here. यहाँ पर क्या क्या island है? Rat Islands ऐसा कुछ है, ठीक है? Rat Islands and all these islands. They are part of your US. Only 2 or 3 islands which are part of your. अच्छा, another set of islands which यहाँ से start हो रहा है, Japan यहाँ पर है. So these part of islands are called which? Anybody? हाँ? Ring of Fire तो ये है. This is Ring of Fire. That is also part of Ring of Fire that I am talking about. Anybody? And it is a disputed. Again, UPSC might ask me, we'll do it in Asia. ये disputed land है. Anybody? Kuril Islands. And Kuril Islands joined which plateau? अरे क्या कर रहे हो आप लोग? मतलब geography NCERT. Kamchatka Plateau. Kamchatka Plateau is also famous for what? Is one of Vladivostok. Anybody who knows what is Vladivostok? It is an ice-free port. Ice-free port. But why it is famous? Yeah, excellent. Trans-Siberian जो railway है, it connects. It's the easternmost city of Russia, Vladivostok. Very important and homework. Vladivostok. What is relation between why Vladivostok is in news with pertaining to India? Homework. ठीक है? ये देखिएगा Vladivostok. ठीक है? Okay. ठीक है? Now, as I have promised, see what I told you. Seaward was a general, right? This is a seaward peninsula. Seaward general actually negotiated because Russia wanted to sell this particular Alaska. Russia wanted to sell Alaska to US because they desperately wanted money. Then who was the Tsar of Russia? World history? Nicholas. देख लीजिएगा, अभी मैं भूल चुका हूं कि निकोलस कौन सा है, फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड. ठीक है, देख लीजिएगा. सो दे वांटेड टू सेल अलास्का सो एज टू गेट द मनी एंड they were negotiating, but the negotiation did not pan out because the negotiation was happening around 1860s, end of 1850s and 60s. And what was happening in US in 1860s? 1860s में क्या हो रहा था? I have the very famous Civil War. Civil War was happening. Civil War ended in which year? 1865. Civil War ended in 1865. And because Civil War was continuing, so they could not have the sale. In 1867, the final sale happened to US of this section. Because this was occupied by Russia. This section went to US because Canada did not have money. ठीक है? So it went to US. And because the one general who facilitated this particular sale, his name was General Seward. So this particular peninsula was named after General Seward. ठीक है? So this is called Seward Peninsula. You will remember? भूलोगे नहीं, right? Like Seward Peninsula, will remember, right? ऐसे करके places in use case. Like you have to locate your like flora, fauna, history, everything. Then only you will remember. Otherwise, you will not remember. ठीक है? Okay. ठीक है. Shall we move on to the next? ठीक है, बढ़िया. Now Bering Strait. Okay. Now, so this is, as I've said, Kamchatka Peninsula. This is your Kamchatka Peninsula. This is your Kuril Islands, right? This is your Aleutian Islands, right? Most of Aleutian Islands is under US sovereignty. ठीक है. Now, this is Anadir. Can we identify that it is part of Russia by the name Anadir? And UPSC in 2025 have asked a question. Anadir भी है, Nome भी है. UPSC के question है. ठीक है. Where is the question? Let's see the question. Anadir in Siberia, Nome in Alaska are a few kilometers from each other, but when people are waking up and getting set for breakfast in these cities, it would be different days. When it is Monday in Anadir, it is Tuesday in Nome. ये वाला तो ठीक है. Now this is very important. Bear with me like for a few minutes. So this is your international date line, right? Ideal. ठीक है? Right. Remember this. अभी logic में मत जाइए. West is Russia. West is Russia. Clear? East is your US. ठीक है? Till here. So let's say that it is Monday. It is Monday in Russia. That means Russia had experienced Sunday. उससे पहले का दिन क्या था? संडे था. It was Sunday. Earth moves from where? West to east. It is moving from here to here. Let's say that I'm going from here to here. I'm going towards the movement of the earth. But you have to always remember, west is Russia. ये सिर्फ यही याद रखिए. West is Russia, east is US. I'm moving from here to here. ठीक है? I'm going towards the earth's direction as if I'm taking the speed with the earth. Then if it is Monday over here, then because I'm speeding up, I'm gaining time. So this will be what? I'm gaining time. Gaining time on Sunday. I'm gaining time. As if I'm taking time machine and going back on Sunday. If I'm here on Sunday, I'm going with the earth's speed. I'm as if I'm going back again on Sunday. I'm gaining time. So remember this. You will remember, everybody? Okay? So can we solve this question? Another in Siberia and Nome in Alaska are few kilometers from each other, but when people are waking up and getting set for breakfast in these cities, it would be different days. Is it correct? Yes. Now, what is the problem over here? Another in Siberia and Nome in Alaska, right? You have to know the concept. कि look, another Siberia है, Nome, Alaska में इसके बीच से ना ideal जाता है, ठीक है? And this is another fascinating fact. Understand? कहाँ गया? This island, Diomede Islands. Diomede Islands, right? It's a Grecian term. It's a Greek term. Will not go to the history of it. Diomede Islands. There are two islands. Bigger Diomede, larger Diomede, smaller Diomede. Smaller Diomede किसके पास रहता है? Smaller Diomede is with USA. ठीक है? Smaller is with USA. Remember it in this way. Smaller. USA is smaller than Russia. Smaller Diomede is with USA. Right? Clear? ठीक है? Here you have your diamond. And the big. So there is a larger diamond. It is with Russia. It is with Russia. This is with USA. Now this ideal passes through these two islands. Right? Diomede Islands lie in the middle of the strait. So it like ideal crosses these two islands. Okay. So coming back to the question, you have to understand that Anadyr in Siberia, they have not anywhere has they mentioned about ideal. Anywhere. So this is the knowledge that you should have. Okay? Ideal is not mentioned. So you have to know that Anadyr in Siberia is where? Which? East or west? Siberia, Anadyr, Russia? West. West. And Alaska, Nome, east. Right? We are moving towards the movement of the earth. If it is Monday over in Russia, what will be it will be Sunday. If it is Monday in larger Diomede, it will be what in smaller Diomede? Sunday. ठीक है? Clear? Everybody? Varalakshmi? Clear? Excellent. ठीक है? Like enjoying? ठीक है? Okay. Now, longest borders we have understood. Now tell me something. Now UPSC might ask a question. Which country has highest number of time zones? Remember that question? Now let me ask you, which country has the largest number of neighboring countries? Which country has the largest number of neighboring countries? Huh? Not Russia, only Russia. There is another country. China, Russia and China. How many countries each? 14 countries each. 14 countries each. Okay? So remember, two countries, Russia and China, have 14 countries each as their neighboring countries. UPSC might ask a question on that. Okay? Okay. China and India, you know, it's the second largest. The longest is your Bangladesh. Okay? Okay. Now let's come to this particular section. The Gulf of Mexico was recognized as the Gulf of America via presidential executive order in the United States from February 2025. Two reasons it cannot be named as Gulf of America. Two reasons. It is an executive order. Executive in the sense president. It has to be sanctioned by whom? Congress. Congress did not sign it. So one reason. The second reason is who gives the name Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, which is the name of the institution? Homework, you will find out. Very important, like because UPSC might ask a question. Now, we'll try, like this is a very important region. बहुत बार news में है अभी because of 2-3 reasons, migration, ice, then your, which one? Petro? High water explosion 2010 में हुआ था. High water, you're right. But petroleum जो leakage हुआ था, that happened in 20. One of the largest petroleum explosion that happened in this region. This region is called high water explosion, as the name was. One of the largest spill, but that happened long ago. But now why it is in the news? Now it is in the news primarily because of migration, ice, right, and pollution also, right? Pollution, this riverine pollution, I'll tell you. Okay, so let's understand properly. This is your Mississippi River, right? So Mississippi, Missouri, these are like, homework, rank rivers, right? Rank rivers. Which is the longest river in the world? We know that it's Nile. Second longest? Amazon. Third? Yangtze. Fourth? Mississippi, Missouri system. Fourth. Okay? So try to make a list of. Another thing, please follow the Telegram. I upload those like one-pager notes. Like usse bahar nahi aayega. If you have you seen those notes? This Americas, I have put in Americas and Europe. You will not like it takes time, and I have consulted all the PYQs and I have placed all the PYQs also there. They have asked questions from here. If you do those one page, and if you do this places in news and those one-pager notes, right? One-pager notes in the sense that for every continent, apart from Asia will have like 2-3 pages because it is important. No. Whatever question can come will be solved from this lecture and that notes. Okay? So that is there in the Telegram. देख लीजिएगा. Let's understand each and every section very well. यहाँ से question आ सकता है. And we'll not go मतलब जो irrelevant चीज़ है we will not go that. We'll just focus on PYQs related stuff. ठीक है? First, Mississippi. The reason why it is one of the dead zones because of Mississippi, and why? Because it's southern states. Southern states are highly agricultural dominated states. And soybean, corn, these are the mass produced. Because it's mass produced, the kind of chemical fertilizers that flows into this region is immense. This is one of the reasons why. Second is, this particular region is one of the densest offshore oil mining happens over here. Densest one of very good amount of oil is present here. Who is the largest producer of oil in the world? Which country? Venezuela तो मतलब है ही नहीं मतलब picture में 0.1%. Largest deposit है उसके पास. USA is the largest producer, right? And one of the reason why it's a producer because यहाँ से offshore mines, Texas, oil states, right? So this is one reason. Gulf of Mexico, you name it, Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico is connected with, which is the, I miss those blackboards, right? उसमें क्या होता है पता है? I write and then I rub, I erase, then I can recollect what I'm going to say. इसमें it's so Gulf of Mexico, right? Now, which are the important water bodies here? Let's understand. So Straits of Florida connects which particular body? Here? Atlantic, right? Gulf Stream is there, right? Gulf Stream is what? UPSC has asked, is a warm or cold? Warm. Gulf है warm, ठीक है? Gulf है warm. California, they have asked, warm or cold? It's cold. हाँ, ऊपर से आ रहा है, cold, and hence there's a desert. What desert is there in that region? Two important deserts. वो PDF रेफर कीजिए, ठीक है. सोनोरन डेजर्ट इज देयर. चुआ जो वो डॉग का ब्रीड है ना, चुआ वॉट एवर इट इज, that is one of that Chuachuan desert is the largest desert in North America. ठीक है. Again, one of the reason is cold currents, and we'll see Atacama, which current? Humboldt. ठीक है. Now coming back here, Straits of Florida. UPSC has asked a question on Strait of Florida. Very important. It connects what? It connects Atlantic. ठीक है. Then Yucatan Channel. अभी Yucatan के बारे में जानेंगे और UPSC might ask a question. Yucatan. Can we recognize from this term that it is a Spanish term? It's a Mexican term. Can we recognize Yucatan? ठीक है. Yucatan connects which particular sea and ocean? It connects. Now this is very important. Now they will say Yucatan Channel connects Caribbean Sea. You will say that no, Yucatan Channel connects Atlantic Sea, and you will make a mistake. It does connect Caribbean Sea. Caribbean Sea is part of Atlantic Sea. That's a different thing. ठीक है? Correct? Like, got it here? No doubt? ठीक है? Okay. Now, so this is your Gulf of Mexico. There is another important thing. We have discussed here Yucatan Channel, right? Now, this is your Yucatan Peninsula. We have done Yucatan, which other peninsula today? Kamchatka Peninsula we did. Seward Peninsula we did, right? We did these peninsulas, important, right? Huh? Kola Peninsula, excellent. Kola, ठीक है. Kola is in Russia, ठीक है. Now Yucatan Peninsula, they might ask a question. Why it is the largest karst landform? Largest karst. What is a karst? Erosional है. Karst is erosional, right? There is no overlaying rivers in this particular peninsula. People who love philosophy, they will love this place. I'll not go there. There is no, because it's primarily limestone. Limestone से बना हुआ है. Because there is limestone, we have what? We have those rivers, because it's acidic. One of the most beautiful. आप जाकर ये search कीजिए Yucatan Peninsula, and it's part of what? It's part of UNESCO World Heritage Site, right? Yes, Aztec and Maya, not Aztec, but like Mayan civilization. Predominant Maya civilization is found here, Yucatan Peninsula. Mayan civilization. Heard about Mayan civilization? It is found over here. Now, why it is again very important? It is important because of another term. It is important because of this term. Can anybody tell me what is this? Sentios. What are sentios? These are sinkholes. They are found in karst landforms. Sentios. Major sentios are found in Yucatan Peninsula. You will remember Yucatan Peninsula. कहाँ पर है Yucatan Peninsula? It is in Mexico. ठीक है? Clear? Now, एक दो देख लेते हैं. Cayman Island. ऐश्वर्या राय पैसा छुपा कर रखा है यहाँ पर. ठीक है? वो आया था ना? केवन नहीं, वो पैनामा आया था. पैनामा पेपर्स, पैनामा में था. बट जो भी है, लाइक है, मतलब छुपा कर रखा है. ठीक है? So, अच्छा. This is very important. This is Mexico, right? Let's see the landforms over here. Florida, right? Important. This is Florida is a part of US. Is a US state. This is your US. This is your US. Okay? This is US. This is the thorn on US's neck. Cuba. Cuban Missile Crisis. Which year? Who was the president? What was it? It was Cold War. Castro was there. Absolutely right. US का president कौन था? Do not ask what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. Kennedy was there. And which year? 1962. Right? And what was the crisis? Crisis was that USSR said कि आप टर्की से मिसाइल हटाओ, फिर हम यहाँ से मिसाइल हटाएंगे. So the missiles were removed from पहले Cuba, and very secretly US removed missiles from Turkey, which again was like done very secretly, right? And who was at the helm of this? People like in political science revere this person, but I don't like that person. Kissinger. ठीक है? Kissinger was there. Like one of the reasons why US and China got closer because of Henry Kissinger. He was a Jew. Like not in a bad way. Like he was Jewish, so like he had, right? Okay. नहीं तो फिर मैं देखूंगा आई एम इन माई हाउस, फिर वो हमास लीडर का क्या हो गया था, फट गया था, मैं भी फट जाऊंगा, ठीक है. ओके, सो लाइक दिस इज देयर, राइट. Guantanamo Bay is where? Guantanamo Bay is an American sovereign land, is a prison which is there in this island, Cuban island, ठीक है. It's somewhere here, ठीक है, ठीक है, it's somewhere here. Have you watched this movie A Few Good Men? Anybody? Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, Jack Nicholson. It is about like they were stationed in Cuba in this region. ठीक है, okay. ठीक है, clear? Let's move on to. अरे इस स्पीड से तो मुश्किल होगा. But you know why I'm doing this? Like I'm going into फिर ना, like you just have to revise and then you're done. Like you will never forget. If you relate this with history, like that's the reason. जैसे like if people teach ऐसे, if they teach ना, अरे यहाँ पर ग्वाटामेला है, यहाँ पर हॉन्डुरस है, क्यूबा है, फिर है तो है, फिर एग्जाम में how can I remember? But if I relate कि अभी like I've told about Cuba this and I told कि Cuba, US and Mexico, this cover your Gulf of Mexico. These are the three US, Mexico and Cuba, right? You will never forget. ठीक है? Okay. चलो, we'll move on to the next. Solve this question. Which one of the following straits is nearest to the international date line? Bering Strait. Strait of Florida कहाँ पर है? Straits of Florida, right? UPSC has asked a question. They might ask a question again. Malacca Strait. When we'll do Asia, we'll do this. Strait of Gibraltar. We'll do Africa. We'll do Strait of Gibraltar. ठीक? We have done GIUK gap. Now we will do Darien gap, right? We'll do Darien gap. So in Darien gap, first of all, why it is in the news? It is in the news because of migration. Yes, illegal migration. This is one thing. Second thing is the North and the South and the Central America is connected through this Trans-American highway something, right? But it stops here. यहाँ पर जाकर end हो जाता है. Why? It's one of the densest densest like swamps. Possible ही नहीं है वहाँ पर to create your this. Possible like it's not possible नहीं है, ऐसे नहीं है, possible तो है because again it's a UNESCO heritage site, number one. Second reason is one of the most trafficked area, drug trafficked area. जितने भी अभी MS-13, how many of you have heard about MS-13? MS-13 US में जो gangs होते हैं, one of the gang is MS-13. So there are many gangs, gang lords were killed in Mexico, right? So that was another reason why this area is so it's like it's infested with drug lords and gang lords, right? So that's the reason why like US has not ventured to create a highway. This is one reason. Second is that what is one of the most trafficked drug in US, and UPSC has like abhi matlab bahut sare question institute is asking this particular term, and UPSC might ask this question. Have you heard about the term fentanyl? ठीक है, fentanyl. Now heroin and ये जो क्या कोकेन वोकेन जो है, like it's like fentanyl is and understand who is the largest producer of fentanyl? China. ठीक है, China. Yes, China is the largest producer. But why fentanyl is why most like first of all it's like उससे शायद मतलब I've read, I've not tried obviously. उससे नशा ज़्यादा चढ़ता है, and second is it's an artificial drugs, right? Unlike heroin and cocaine, which is made from ठीक है. Not put ideas, right? So it is your artificial drugs. Okay, now coming back to the point. It's a dense jungle region between Panama and Colombia, right? Panama and Colombia. So here is Colombia. Colombia is a South American country. Panama is your Central America. Panama is known for what? Panama Canal. Panama Canal Darien Gap के ऊपर है, ठीक है? Panama here is your Panama ऐसे है, ठीक है, somewhere. ठीक है, रिमेंबर डेरियन गैप के ऊपर है पैनामा कैनाल, बिकॉज डेरियन गैप पे तो नहीं होगा बिकॉज इट्स हाईली डेंस inaccessible. डेरियन गैप के ऊपर पैनामा कैनाल है, एंड व्हाई पैनामा कैनाल वाज रिसेंटली इन न्यूज़. That was one of the reason that USA wanted to get hold of another like environmental reason. Panama Canal, drying up of Panama Canal, right? So that was also another reason why it is in news. Which two? Acha, another thing. This is the trick question. Panama Canal joins which two water bodies? And if UPSC says that Panama Canal joins Pacific with Caribbean Sea, is it correct or incorrect? It is correct because it does join Caribbean Sea. Caribbean Sea cricket followers, ठीक है? West Indies बोल का कोई countries नहीं है, ठीक है? West Indies are collection of countries. Barbados, then you have your other countries, right? ठीक है, हाँ. तो so they are in the Caribbeans, right? Okay. So now, so Panama, here you have your, so this is your Colombia, okay? So a portion of Darien Gap is in Colombia. How do, and remember this, so this is the particular land which joins the Central America with the Southern America. Venezuela से नहीं connect होता है. UPSC might ask कि Darien gaps connect with Venezuela. No, because दिमाग में ऐसे रहता है कि Venezuela तो ऊपर है, तो Venezuela is also in the news. You'll read. It connects with Colombia. Colombia side में northwest पे है Colombia. So basically this is your very poor at drawing. So basically your Colombia will be here. Colombia is here and this is the gap. ठीक है? So it connects sideways. ठीक है? Venezuela पर क्या है? Which country? ना. Suriname. Excellent. Excellent. French Guyana. Right. बहुत बढ़िया. अभी चलो इसका कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं. इसके नीचे इक्वेडोर. इसके नीचे पेरू. नहीं, पेरू है. पेरू या पेरू है. एक मिनट, लेट मी चेक. या बोलिविया. पेरू है. बोलिविया इज हियर. बोलिविया इज यहाँ. ठीक है. फिर देन यू हैव चिले. हियर यू हैव योर अर्जेंटीना. हियर यू हैव योर पैराग्वे, उरुग्वे, ब्राजील यहाँ पर पूरा. ठीक है. ठीक है. So like let's understand some of the questions. Which two countries do not share water boundaries with in South America? Which two countries? Bolivia. Which two countries are landlocked countries in South America? Bolivia and Paraguay. Bolivia and Paraguay. Excellent. Which two countries do not share its boundaries with Brazil? Which two countries do not share boundaries with Chile? Yes, Chile and Argentina does slightly. Argentina does slightly. Oh, you're right. You're Peru, Bolivia. So Chile does not have boundary, and which other country does not have boundary? Here, Ecuador does not have. Now another important thing. चलो इसको अभी कर लेते हैं. चलो. Equator passes through here. It passes through Brazil, right? It passes through Brazil. And here, so the जो Petos Lagoon, UPSC has asked a question. Petos Lagoon. It is in the southern part. Does it? So because Equator passes through here, Petos Lagoon is here. So obviously it does not pass. So like you have to know in this way. You have to relate. So ऊपर से मतलब this is your equator. It just grazes Brazil and passes. ठीक है? It just grazes Brazil and passes. Which is the continent where both the equator and your Tropic of Capricorn passes? South America. नहीं. I think it is South America. I think it's South America. Capricorn and your. I'll check. Tropic of. Because they might ask a question, no? They might ask a question through which. It's Africa actually. Only so Tropic of Cancer, Equator, and Capricorn passes through Africa. Three passes through Africa.
And the Capricorn and Equator passes through South America.
I'll check. इसको अभी डन कर लेते हैं. South America, right. ठीक है. So again, so this is which country? This is your Uruguay. This is your Paraguay. Paraguay does not share boundary with each other because Argentina comes in between. ठीक है? Argentina. And which are the Mercosur countries? अब बताओ what are the Mercosur countries and it is in the news. India is हाँ removed हो गया 2015-16 में, ठीक है. Apart from that you have your Brazil, ठीक है, you have your Argentina, you have your Paraguay, we have your Uruguay and which is another country 24 में इसका finalize हुआ था. The one person who's the country is named after the person who is responsible for removing them, responsible for decolonizing South America. हाँ, Simón de Bolívar. दिल्ली में Simón de Bolívar street है. Bolívar street, Bolivia. Right? So Bolivia, yeah. Okay. So these are the countries which are part of Mercosur. Venezuela was part of Mercosur, but it was removed in which year? 2016, right? Simón de Bolívar, ठीक है. And what is the reason why, unlike Africa, America, what is the reason why? And this, it might be not be the question, but understand this. Why? What is the reason why Africa, Asia have border boundaries and border disputes, and South America does not? South America में we'll see that region. There is only one region which has a major border issue. Apart from that, there is no border issue. What are two reasons? What is the two reasons? Huh? Two reasons. You are right to a degree, but the physical, huh? History, I'll tell you. So primarily the decolonization of South America happened during when? During the 19th century. 18th-19th century में हो चुका था. There were disputes because primarily most of the countries are Catholic countries. They used to follow whom? They used to follow the Pope, the religious head. So basically, whatever disputes that they had, मतलब 200 साल पहले, the popes intervened and resolved all the disputes. So as of now, there is no like border disputes between the countries. This is one reason. What is the second reason? Very marked feature. मतलब Andes देखिए, फिर Amazons देखिए, they're like river systems. So they're very categorically marked. But Africa में क्या हुआ था? In India में Radcliffe, the stupid Radcliffe, what did he do? ठीक है, he sat with the map. ठीक है, Africa में क्या हुआ था? And you see the African maps, straight lines. Is it a straight line over here? कहीं पर भी. Africa में देखिए straight lines. So they divided the country based on the maps. Here the country's division is because of physiography. Because of, again, if there were disputes, the Pope was there. Okay, now this might be the question and it will help you to eliminate. Which is the country, so these were colonized. All of the countries were colonized. Which is the primary, excellent, Spanish and Portuguese. So which countries speak Spanish, which countries speak Portuguese? Yes, only country which speaks Portuguese. Only country which speaks Portuguese is Brazil, because the Portuguese only had access to Brazil. Rest of all the countries speaks Spanish. How to remember? There were two people who play football. There were two Ronaldos. Ronaldo is a Portuguese name. एक है Cristiano Ronaldo, अभी very famous, वो Portugal से है, ठीक है. There was another Tecla Ronaldo, ठीक है. He was famous in 2003. Like my father used to watch. So he's from which place? He was from Brazil. ठीक है. So two Ronaldos, two names, Portuguese names. Yeah, you'll remember. ठीक है. Excellent. मजा आ रहा है क्लास? Like, ठीक है. Okay. So इसमें there was another thing I had to tell. Caribbean हो गया. हाँ. So remember this. Darien Gap is not a mountain gap. We will make mistake because Greenland, Iceland, GIUK gap is not a mountain gap. This is an oceanic gap, right? Here it is a gap, is like it's a tropical, dense tropical forest. Okay. Acha, another thing, UPSC question, which is one of the animals which like UPSC had asked this bonobo, right? UPSC had asked this question. So which is the animal which is found here, which is again found primarily in this region? What is the name of that animal which is found in Darien Gap and very famous, and it is like one of like endangered? It is tapir. Okay. In India, tapir is found. UPSC has asked us shoe tapir. These are of all same like क्या होगा शालू? Genus नहीं, family क्या होगा? Genus होगा ना? Same genus. इंडिया में क्या कौन सा टापिर मिलता है? मलाइन टापिर इन द नॉर्थ ईस्ट रीजन. ठीक है, क्लियर? ठीक है. नाउ यू विल नॉट फॉरगेट अबाउट Darien Gap. You will not. So which are the two countries where the Darien Gap is spread? Which are the two countries? Panama and Colombia. Now we'll do some exercise. Not exercise, like let's see the South American countries. Which are the South American countries? ठीक है? Okay, so remember, like, try to remember it in this way. But iska, I don't know, like, there's a mnemonics for this, but I remember it in this way. So Guatemala, then your Belize. Belize is in the news, right? One of the for US destination spot. मतलब जाते घूमने Guatemala, Belize, then El Salvador. El Salvador is also in the news. Why? Huh? Volcanism. Another reason was they were people were being violent criminals were being sent to El Salvador prison. El Salvador की जो president है is very strict president. ठीक है? El Salvador and then Honduras. ठीक है? उसके नीचे which is a country? Which is a country after this? Nicaragua. Below Nicaragua, Costa Rica. And then your Panama. ठीक है? पहले दो country and then three. IGBEH, then NCP, I remember, but this is my mnemonics. You might not remember in that way. Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Panama is the last of the country which connects your South America. ठीक है? Okay. Will remember this one? Practice, please practice. ठीक है? Okay. Now, Belize Barrier Reef. Belize Barrier Reef is important because it has been because of stony coral tissue loss disease. Stony coral tissue loss disease. This is a disease which is affecting this. Now understand this. This is very important and you will never forget और भूलना भी नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है? Okay. This we remember Great Barrier Reef. We remember Great Barrier Reef. It's the largest reef, barrier reef, not largest reef. It's the largest barrier, which is the second largest barrier reef. The second largest is Mesoamerican Barrier Reef. Second largest barrier reef in the world. Mesoamerican Barrier Reef. You will remember, guys. Not forget, and where it is situated, Caribbean Sea में situated है. And Belize Sea के सामने जो reef है, right? This has been in the news because of stony coral tissue loss disease. ठीक है? Now I'll ask. So this is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and this the UPSC might ask a question. Great Blue Hole. Have you heard about this Great Blue Hole? Have you heard? Great Blue Hole is found where? Great Blue Hole is found in this Mesoamerican reef bay. Because of karst topography. This is because of ice age. Ice age में जब water melt हुआ था ना, so exactly I don't know, I don't want to say, but primarily it was of ice age. ठीक है? Because बताना नहीं है, don't guess it, don't say. ठीक है? Okay, ठीक है? Clear? Now tell me, so Great Barrier Reef is where? In which part of Australia? Northeast. Northeast part of Australia. But which is the largest reef in the world? It's called Reef Triangle. And there are 6 countries. And 76% of coral species are found. 76%. And this is very important. And you have to understand this also. Is Great Barrier Reef part of this coral triangle? It is not. It is not part of coral triangle. Right? And which are the 6 countries? Malaysia, remember this. Malaysia, Malaysia, Indonesia, then Marshall Islands, then Timor-Leste, then Philippines, then Brunei. Brunei is also there. Okay. So how many countries are there in ASEAN? Abhi? 11. Which country has got included? Timor-Leste got included. Okay? Clear? That will be discussed in the session. Okay. Shall we move on to the next? Time? No. Arey baapre. Okay. Okay, so this is the question. The largest coral reef in the world is found in the coast of which one of the following countries? So here they have said Australia, but cumulatively if you see, it is there in दिस ट्रायंगल, ठीक है, बट इन द कंट्री बोला है ना तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया ही होगा, ठीक है, ठीक है, ओके, ओके, एस्किबो रीजन, यूपीसी आस्क अगेन, ट्रैकर, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ट्रैकर, remember that website, conflict tracker, UPSC ask questions from conflict regions, Esquibo region, and this is now like Venezuela. मतलब अब सोचो, मतलब प्रेसिडेंट को उठा कर ले चला गया, just imagine, and you know, like it shakes me to the core when, look, it's not about US, like just imagine any war, recent history. Why did Nixon go to war or continued with the war? He did not go to the war. Johnson went to the war. Nixon continued with the war. Why did Bush went to the war? ठीक है. And देखो, Bush actually did not go to the vice president जो अभी हाल ही में he passed away, Dick Cheney, right? He had huge contacts with the Exxon oil company, right? They forced them to go to the war in Iraq. कुछ WMD कहाँ मिला? कुछ मिला? Like where Saddam Hussein was hiding, he was hiding in a rat hole, right? And why did US went to war with Iran? Abhi. Now people have like, we must be following that this news. If I tell, acha, no, this is a, don't listen to me, but understand your gut. What is the main reason? Epstein file. In 2026 November में there will be midterm election. जितने भी आप polls देखोगे, everywhere they have said not only the Congress, the Republican parties will lose the Senate also. अब समझ लो, अगर कांग्रेस lose करता है Senate, so in 2019 when Trump was twice he was impeached, but he did not leave office because it was not sanctioned by the Senate, because Senate was in whose control? It was in Republicans' control. Number one. Second reason is what? You need 60 votes to pass a resolution in Senate. 60 votes. 60 votes मतलब बहुत difficult है Senate में 60 votes लाना ना, बहुत difficult है, because it's equal, like now 47-53 है, 47 Democrat and 53 Republican, but now it is said that कि if both the Senate and your US Congress is with the Republican Party, then if a motion is passed by the Congress तो जीतेगा वो for sure, and Senate Democrat cannot win 60 seats, but even like 50 to 53 seats and 7 Republican come and vote against Trump, so he will be the first president to be impeached. Clinton was not impeached, he was impeached but he resigned. ठीक है, Nixon, right? He resigned. They all resigned. ठीक है. So this president will be the first president if both the Senate and Congress goes. This president will be the first to leave office. Will be asked to leave office. Now these are the problems that he's facing. Acha, what is another problem? Have you seen the economic data of US? जो employment data है. One of the highest unemployment rate अभी US में जा रहा है. One of the highest unemployment rates. ठीक है. Check the medical insurance, जो उनकी जो insurance होते हैं, ठीक है. So these were whenever there is a domestic problem, 3 things we have to remember over here. 1, Esquibo region. It is part of which country? Guyana. ठीक है. It's part of Guyana. It is administered, it is controlled by Guyana. Remember, will not. ठीक है. Now there are 2 Guyanas. One is your French Guyana. French Guyana कहाँ पर है? यहाँ पर है. And there you have your Guyana. Guyana is an independent country. French Guyana is what? Anybody? It's an overseas department. Right? It's an overseas department, and remember this also. It's an overseas department. Most importantly, it's part of EU. Because France is part of EU. जितने भी overseas, how many French, how many overseas department he has? It has Martinique. ठीक है. Ascension, you have heard about these islands probably. Reunion Island, you have heard about Reunion Islands? New Caledonia, no, it's not part of French. It's not part of French. वो देखना होगा मुझे. I have to verify. ठीक है. I'll not say. I have to verify. ठीक है. But French Guyana, and French Guyana is important. What is one reason? Yes, no, France का space नहीं, ESA, European Space Agency. And why it is there in French Guyana? Yes, 0.5, like 5, it's very near. अब देखो यहाँ पर इक्वेडोर यहाँ से जाता है, ये इक्वेडोर है, ठीक है, और यहाँ पर फ्रेंच गायना है. And can anybody tell me what is the reason why we have launches from near the equator and not from your poles, in the poles? जैसे for example एक चीज है, we'll understand properly. इंडिया का कहाँ पर है? इंडिया श्रीहरिकोटा. what is the the latitude? हाँ, latitude that passes through श्रीहरिकोटा is very near the equator. 12 और 13 है, ठीक है, देख लीजिएगा, जस्ट चेक इट, ठीक है. नाउ हम लोग वी डिड फ्लोरिडा, ठीक है, वी डिड फ्लोरिडा, ठीक है, वी डिड फ्लोरिडा. वेयर इज यूएस का स्पेस एजेंसी, स्पेस कैनेडी स्पेस सेंटर, हाँ, फ्लोरिडा. फ्लोरिडा, व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द टर्म? केप कैनावरल. केप कैनावरल में वी हैव यूएस कैनेडी सेंटर वेयर दे लॉन्च रॉकेट. And what is the latitude which passes? 28 degree half latitude, which is very near the equator, right? One of the biggest launches happens to Florida यहाँ से. What is another reason why Florida is used? Why? Earth moves from where? West to east. अगर कुछ मतलब यहाँ, like if let's say, and UPSC might ask this question, why the rocket launches are near the equator? Cause and reasons wala, statement 1, statement 2, right? 2 reasons. And why, again, why it is there always in the eastern front, on the eastern side. Okay, so why? 2 reasons. One is one Coriolis force. Okay, that I have to verify. Yes, first of all, one reason is that less fuel, because equator mein the velocity is higher, it is moving with the earth speed, okay, I will see that. Yes, and second reason is your ocean, agar yahan par kuch durghatna hai to it will fall in the ocean, because it is moving towards this east, towards this. If the rocket flies over here like this, it will go, it will fall in the ocean, ठीक है. मान लीजिए यहाँ से इसका लॉन्च हो रहा है फ्रॉम दिस सेक्शन, कैलिफोर्निया, यहाँ से लॉन्च हो रहा है, नॉट हियर, fall in Louisiana, ठीक है. So that is another reason. So if something happens in Sriharikota, it will fall where? It will fall in Bay of Bengal, ठीक है. So this is अच्छा. Now coming to the speed velocity, right? Let's understand. So here you have your Earth, polygon circle, ठीक है, but we'll manage. So here you have your equator, ठीक है. So just imagine. So from here to here, like it's the maximum distance. The speed is higher, ठीक है. But if it is here, so this is just a point, right? As we move up, the distance reduces, and hence the force is less, right? So this is the reason why it is tried to launch. Obviously, like many countries will not have places near equator, so they tried to launch from the regions near equator, ठीक है. Okay. So again, French Guiana. What is the name of the center? ESA का center का नाम, which is the name of the Kerau something, ठीक है. Just check, but this is not important. This is not asked, ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है. So remember this two things here. It is Venezuela और China के बीच में conflict है. Recently there was when we'll be doing Asia, Thailand और Cambodia के बीच में जो issue चल रहा है, ठीक है. Here the issue. What is the reason why it's an issue? Huge quantity of oil reserves, right? And Venezuela में कौन सा oil मिलता है? Heavy or light? हाँ? It's very heavy. It's very sulfur oriented. मतलब उसको distillation will take more cost, ठीक है? Sulfur oriented, ठीक है. So currently administered by Guyana. Remember this? ठीक है. चलो, let's move on. Okay, so Orinoco Basin. This is the reason why Maduro is in US. This Orinoco Basin. ठीक है. Now there are a couple of things we have to understand. First of all, it's highly rich in oil. Orinoco Basin, right? And whenever this Orinoco comes, always remember it is northern America. कुछ भी Orinoco, there is a river also. Orinoco River is also there, right? So Orinoco River, and there is your huge quantity of oil. This oil which is found here is primarily your heavy crude oil. It is heavy crude oil, ठीक है. So drained by the Orinoco River. So here you have the Orinoco River, this region, and it drains here, ठीक है. ठीक है. अच्छा, another thing over here, this is important. This particular कहाँ गया? It's not here. There is a lake. There is a lake called, we discussed this in our discussion, evening discussion, Lake Maracaba. You have heard about it, right? The lake is here, situated around here. ठीक है. So you will remember Orinoco. Shall we move on next? ठीक है. हाँ. Look, this is 2000 का question है. अभी ये redundant हो चुका है. In 2025 they have asked a question. Remember, largest producer of क्या था? Which is in Indonesia. But nickel. Largest producer of nickel was Indonesia. तो हम लोग एक एक करके देख लेते हैं. तो Venezuela obviously अभी भी है, but not producer. It has huge deposit. Production is 0.1%, right? अच्छा, by the way, is Venezuela part of OPEC country? It is the only South American country which is a part of OPEC. ठीक है? How many countries? So remember, so more number of countries. African countries are part of OPEC. ठीक है? Only 5 countries are part of OPEC from Middle East. ठीक है? Your homework is which are the OPEC countries, very important because oil is in the news. मतलब oil से मतलब आप थोड़ा लिख लीजिए, like kind of oils, WTI, Brent crude. UPSC has asked question, Brent crude, WTI, right? So WTI is West Texas, ठीक है? Brent crude, right? See these terms, understand. So which are the basins, oil basins का नाम क्या है? Orinoco Belt और Orinoco Basin is one such basin. Saudi Arabia मतलब Middle East में जो basin है, what are the names of the basins in Iran, in Saudi Arabia, right? So know the name of the basin, oil basins. Number 2, second, for example, KG Basin. KG Basin is where? Krishna Godavari in India, Krishna Godavari Basin. So like know the basins, right? Second is then you know about who is the largest producer. US is the largest producer. Who has the largest stock? Obviously, you have Venezuela has the largest stock. Okay, so you know, understand. Okay, manganese. Who is the largest producer of manganese? नहीं यहाँ पर छोड़ दीजिए. अभी ये सब उलट पलट हो चुका है, right? Like largest, like will because this is a 2000 question, ना? So we'll understand. Like we'll try to situate. Sorry, we'll try to situate abhi present because UPSC will ask present, na? So manganese, who is the largest producer of copper? Largest producer of copper? Chile is the largest producer of copper. हाँ. Reserve largest Australia होगा शायद. We have to verify. अच्छा, manganese, who is the largest producer of manganese? 33% of manganese is found in South Africa. 33%. ठीक है? Bauxite, the name has come up, Australia. Right? Australia is the largest producer of bauxite. ठीक है? And India में who is the largest producer? Which state is the largest producer? Odisha. Manganese? Odisha. हाँ, वो that region. Manganese, bauxite, these are the major region, right? ठीक है? Clear, everybody? Move next. तो इसका list. So in that HYT high yielding topic, I will give a list of 20 minerals which are important minerals, and these are I'll put it in the Telegram group. उसको देख लीजिए. Please go through those. What I'm trying to say, ना, like we'll be giving 40 to 50 topics such as this. अगर वहाँ से 10 topics, मतलब 10 question also you can solve. That's a huge thing because you have to read only 50 pages. ठीक है? चलो. Atacama Desert. 2 things. Why it is in the news. First, one of the reason why it is in the news is because मतलब US में सब जगह पर जाते हैं, पता है? मतलब उसका मतलब it's different thing. There was one senator in US. अभी it will not be in the news, but not relevant. There was one senator in the US who said that कि मुझे हमें Atacama को like we have to capture Atacama. You know why? Why? What is the reason why? Huh? That is one of the reason. Valid reason. Absolutely. But lithium is there. ABC will see that. जितने भी Mars instruments हम like any extraterrestrial जो there is a term. Remember this term. Not analog watch. Analog means we replicate that environment. Yes, that environment that we might face in the extraterrestrial body like Mars and Moon. India ka bhi there is a mission. Ladakh is the place is Ladakh, but what is the name of the mission? Huh? What is the name of the mission? Analog mission. India Science and Tech. Guys, 70 days. I also forgot. ठीक है, वो थोड़ा देख ही लीजिएगा. ठीक है, refer to it. ठीक है, India में there is also a mission. ठीक है, now coming back to the point. Sure. So the thing is that Atacama Desert is a desert which is like dry desert, clean sky, pristine weather condition, and one of the क्या मतलब habitable नहीं है वहाँ पर. ठीक है. So this is a desert where all these instruments were tried, and obviously lithium deposit, huge copious amount of lithiums are found here. So again, US said that we have to occupy Atacama Desert. Matlab, so slow. Second is this, again, this might be the question. ELT, extremely large telescope. Right, extremely large telescope. Now, what is extremely? Is it functionable? It is functioning. What it is? क्या करता है telescope? ठीक है? And why it is there, present in there? Like I probably have understood. Like you know why telescopes are placed in clear skies. Like Ladakh में है. One of the reason is that जो light clearly the light comes. There is no light pollution. There is no distraction. There is no dust pollution. That's one of the reason, right? And again, Atacama Desert is one of the like driest desert. मतलब cloud formation नहीं होता है. Humidity formations नहीं होते हैं, ठीक है? So this is one of the reason why that is place chosen for extremely large telescope. Can anybody tell me which is another place where these famous telescopes are found, which is again an American state, one of the 50 states, and it's an island? Huh? Hawaii, right? Hawaii Island, right? Now, extremely large telescope. इसके बारे में थोड़ा जान लेते हैं. We'll never forget. It is there in Atacama Desert. Atacama Desert पहले लोकेशन देख लेते हैं, ठीक है? Which countries? कौन-कौन से countries में Atacama Desert है? अरे, हाँ, 2 countries. Three, 4 countries. Primarily 3, 4 countries, right? But majorly it lies in Chile. Peru में थोड़ा it's there a little bit, right? But this is very important. Atacama Desert lies between your Andes and your which ocean? Pacific Ocean. But the Andes, it lies between that. It does not lie on the east part of Andes. No. So here is your Andes. Here is your Pacific. This is the region where your Atacama is. Again, like यहाँ पर cold current, which is the cold current we discussed, Humboldt current, and here if there is a moisture, अभी इतना moisture तो आता भी नहीं है, but if there is a moisture, again it comes like it does not bring any rainfall. So what is the rainfall? Only 10 like मतलब 10 mm. मतलब 10 mm is like a very good estimate. Like उससे भी कम आता है, ठीक है? चलो. Now, okay. There was another thing I have to mention. Now coming to extremely large telescope. So you have understood in which countries they were found. Extremely large telescope is not functioning. It will function in 2028. They have primarily 3 objectives. What are the 3 objectives? To find the early, now this is very important, to find the early stars. Early stars means 14.5 billion years ago the universe was formed. Jitna large telescope hoga, more light it can get, and we can see further into the space. So the one of the oldest formation of stars we can find. This is one reason. Second is dwarf planets. We will try to find the dwarf planets through this ELT. But is ELT functionable? No, it will function in 2027, 28. And who is the like ELT? Like which space agency is the administrator of ELT? Yes, right. European Space Agency. It is not NASA. It is ESA. Okay? Clear? If they ask about ELT, it is ESA. Right. Now coming to obviously the point why it is important. So one of the richest lithium resources areas in the world, richest, and here you have your like lithiums are found in like here the ore is salt. We'll find salar in Spanish. Salt is salar. Okay? The 3 main areas where it is found. We'll see that, right? So richest source of lithium, and obviously astronomical observatory because extremely dry atmosphere, right? Acha. So from this, I'll just ask I'll just deviate. Can we deviate for 2 minutes? I'll like this because this is my favorite topic, space. Okay. So Einstein was responsible for giving this theory equals to mc square, like time space continuum, right? Theory of, what did I say? Theory of relativity, right? Equals to mc square. In what was the year? 1916. General theory of relativity, right? General theory of special theory of relativity came in 1905. There, gravity was not there. Gravity in that particular equation, gravity was not incorporated. So gravity was included in 1916. And there he created the space-time continuum, and like he explained space-time continuum, and he gave the theory of general theory of relativity, right? Where the light bends, UPSC had asked this question: does light bend? It does. It does. Light do bend. Now, so he gave the theory, right? Now, theory is as good as like I can theorize. I can today say that I theorize that sound also bend. Sound does not bend, right? Sound goes in a what is a wave? Which wave? Longitudinal or transverse? Transverse waves, right? Now, in case of light bends. Einstein theorized, but who proved it and how did he prove it? What was the name of the person who proved that Einstein's theory of relativity? This is your homework. Do that homework. It was in Africa. There was one island in Africa. He went to that particular island and he proved, there was like through, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of it, that how he showed that light bended because of eclipse that was formed, right? And that eclipse showed the stars which are behind the sun is visible because, you know, the mass of the sun has bended the space-time continuum, and hence the light from behind just moved across the sun and is coming to the earth. And this could only be proven during your eclipse. And that one person, so Einstein was a Jewish German, right? And it was 1915-16 mein he gave this theory, and 1915-16 mein kya chal raha tha? World War I, and the person who proved Einstein's theory was a person from UK, right? He was from UK who went and he proved Einstein's theory. What is his name? It is your homework. Tomorrow we'll tell you his name, right? And what is why it is fascinating? Because of cloud again. Because यहाँ पर है ना कि ideal condition for astronomical observation due to extremely dry atmosphere. So when he went, he had only 3 plates to observe. 2 plates he destroyed because clouds came in and he could not observe the eclipse. And it was only 1 plate where he could observe the phenomenon, where he could see the light coming from behind the sun, and hence proving Einstein's general theory of relativity. Okay, chal. Okay. Another. This is the Pacific Ring of Fire. So this is your Pacific Ring of Fire. We have volcanic and your earthquake happens here. This is important. Salar de Atacama salt flat. What is the? The in Spanish means the. Okay? Salar the. So the salt flats, the salt flats of Atacama, right? It's Spanish term. Okay? Clear? Okay. Lithium triangle. Again, this is a old news. Kabil has signed an exploration and development agreement with Kemin is a company, right, in Argentina, right? So how do you remember? It's very easy. ABC. Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile, right? But this is something you have to remember. Salar de Uyuni, I don't know how is it pronounced, Salar de Atacama and Salar del Hombre Muerto, right? So these are the terms you remember. They might give these terms and this is where it is. Salar de Hombre. Hombre means what? Man. Hombre. Homo sapiens, right? Hombre. If you see English movies, hombre, my hombre. And muerto. Muerto means what? Dead. Okay? Muerto means dead. Mortification. Murder. All comes from this term, Latin terms, muerto. Okay? Salar de Hombre Muerto, which means it is this dead man's salt or something like that. But it's not important. But these are 3 different places. Salar de Uyuni is in Bolivia, Salar de Atacama is in Chile, and Salar de Hombre Muerto is in Argentina. Okay? Clear, everybody? Okay. Okay, next. Acha, here we have come, Andes mountain they have asked. Okay? And please refer to the document I have shared. All the mountain ranges, Rockies, Andes, I have mentioned. What is important over here? Venezuela is also part. Andes goes to Venezuela also, and it is there in Chile. Mount Aconcagua, like this is this is the highest peak. So highest peak in Americas. Both the Americas milakar highest peak, right? Mount Aconcagua, and then so these are the countries, and this is important. It is in Colombia. It divides into 3 branches. One branch reaches Venezuela. One of the branch reaches Venezuela. ठीक है, clear? Okay. अच्छा, this peak is where it is present in Argentina. ठीक है? Okay. Okay. This is the question. Answer this question. Let's say all three. Now this is the reason. This is like will not go by this YouTube वाला logic होता है ना कि ऐसे वाले question में ना एक गलत होता है. I think you have all gone through those tricks, stupid tricks. मतलब I'll fold my hands and request वो tricks मत देखिए please. Rely on your instinct. Rely on your PYQs. ठीक है? All of them are correct. Botswana diamond, absolutely. Chile is lithium. Indonesia, we discussed. It is right, nickel, right? So I will create the PDF of 20 major minerals of the world. So this is like resources rich in. So I'll create the resource rich in, ठीक है? And I will put it in the group. आप वो थोड़ा देख लीजिएगा, ठीक है? Okay. हाँ, Amazon basin. UPSC like अब एक काम कीजिएगा. You just search Amazon basin and UPSC PYQs. इतने सारे PYQs है, like बहुत like it's huge. And we'll understand जल्दी से फटाफट से, ठीक है? This is 11. Okay. What is the time? Just take 10 minutes. 10 minutes में we'll complete, ठीक है? Okay. First is Amazon basin. So why it is in the news? COP30, which happened when? 2025. It happened around October, November, if I'm not wrong. This particular facility, please go. Like, are you COP30 has been asked? COP30 has been asked. Paris climate. So what is the PYQ trend? COP से question आ रहा है, ठीक है? Which will be the next COP? कहाँ पर होगा? Which country? Turkey, ठीक है? Next one will be in Turkey. But तब आपका prelims हो जाएगा. But this COP30 is important. They have asked, but उसको कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? कर लेते हैं. So tropical forest forever facility. This is the reason why it is in the news. This particular scheme has been brought out during this particular COP. So it was held in where? It was held in Brazil, Belém, ठीक है? So this, so you know. Which are the countries which covers Amazon basin? This is very important. Why? What is the reason why? What was the question that was asked in 2023? Which countries cover Congo basin? Remember? So which basin is the largest? Congo basin or Amazon basin? Amazon basin is the largest, obviously. But which basin has the highest amount of peat? It is Congo. ठीक है, चलो इसमें आते हैं. Which are the countries? Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana. ऐसे करके तो फिर मैं like जैसे होता है ना कि these are the. Can we remember in this way? We can't remember. So देखते हैं which countries are not part of Amazon basin. देख लेते हैं. Again बताओ. Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, and Argentina or Argentina, whatever it is. 4 countries. Marker sir, there are only 4 countries. Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil, and which is another country? Bolivia. Excellent. Bolivia. Venezuela था, अभी नहीं है. Only 4 countries are there. Right? यहाँ पर बहुत सारे countries हैं. देखिए. Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Ecuador, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana. There were many countries. So French Suriname is not. But if they ask a question like, is France a part of Amazon basin? Yes, because French Guyana, it's an overseas department. It is because French Guyana is a part of European Union. French Guyana is a part of European Union, right? It is part, right? So how do we remember? We remember those countries which are not part of it. So which are the countries? 4 countries, as he has said. Paraguay, you have done very well. You have prepared your maths well, right? Paraguay, Uruguay, Chile, and Argentina. Okay? Okay. Now, UPSC asks this question: if Amazon basin is the lungs of the world, which are the kidneys of the world? Kidneys कौन है? Huh? Wetlands है, ठीक है? Wetlands. And which is the world's largest wetland? Yes. Excellent. अभी देखो, Pantanal wetland है ना? Topic. ठीक है? If you are doing this, एक भी कुछ नहीं छूटेगा. This one and the document that I've shared. ठीक है? So world's largest यहाँ पर क्या है? Amazon basin largest है. Pantanal wetlands largest है. There is another largest I told you before the class. It was a part of PYQ. Equator से ऊपर से जा रहे वो बहुत नीचे है. क्या है? Lagoon. Come on. Platos Lagoon is here. Platos Lagoon is here. ठीक है? Somewhere here. ठीक है? Clear? Everybody? Okay. नाउ एक बार इसको देख लेते हैं, ठीक है. सो which is the kidneys of the earth? Your wetlands, right? Largest wetland, pantanal wetlands, ठीक है. And oxygen production and extensive tropic. I think the Brazil, this Amazon basin ranks third, if I'm not third or fourth. First is your Congo basin, which is the second one. Anybody? Malaysia, yes, Malaysia and Indonesia. Malaysia and Indonesia, that is the second largest peatlands. Tropical peatland I'm talking about. I'm not talking about subtropical, right? Or temperate. I'm talking about tropical. Tropical mein you have your Congo, which is a tropical basin, and you have your this Malaysia and Indonesia. ठीक है? Clear? And you have then it's third. Amazon basin peatland is third or fourth. एक बार देख लीजिएगा, ठीक है? I might be wrong. I think it's fourth, but अब देख लीजिएगा. But it's important, right? So peatland is there, ठीक है? And now this is important. Amazon River is the largest river by discharge, not longest river. Longest is your River Nile, and it starts from which lake, and it's what's there in the question in 2025, Lake Victoria, and उसका length पता है क्या है? So 6,000 something, right? So basically like this is. I'm very poor at diagrams. Please excuse my diagram. Right. Something like this is malnourished India, but nonetheless it's India. So basically your Indus River is, this is the length. Kanyakumari se lekar Kashmir and again back. This is the length of your, you remember in this way, 3,000 kilometers, 3,000 kilometers. Okay? That's the length of your Nile. And your, obviously your Amazon. Amazon is the second longest. Longest. Okay? World's largest tropical forest. This is the right. Now, or what I'll do is that, because they have asked about bonobos and they have asked about those, na. तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे लास्ट सेशन में, इन द लास्ट सेशन what we'll do, we'll see all the species that are important in these. अभी नहीं करेंगे फिर ना, वो फिर that will be very cluttered. ठीक है, जितने भी important species हैं, and अच्छा bonobo, then there was this one, what was the name of, Indri, right? Then elks, right? Elks is a kind of a deer, right? Indri is kind of a lemur, right? हाँ, तो वो largest, smallest, endemic, और वो शायद Indri is found in Madagascar, right? Which are the six different landscapes in the southern hemisphere? 6 different landscapes in the southern hemisphere. This is how you can eliminate questions and you can get to the right answer. Falkland Islands, Madagascar, South America, Australia, obviously Indian subcontinent. So there are 6 of them. So these 6, for Madagascar, will have the most number of endemic, content. So if there's a term, and if there is endemism mentioned, and if Madagascar is mentioned, like it will be correct. Keep the Falkland Island be same. Falkland Island is an entity in itself. Okay, chalo, we'll not go there. Okay. So, shall we move on to the next? Jaldi se? Okay. Pantanal wetlands. Now, what is important over here? Pantanal wetlands are not part of your Amazon basin. They are not part of your Amazon basin. So this is your elimination. Not part of the Amazon rainforest ecosystem. They are not part. Okay? They are not part. Abhi dekho, yahan par, like here you have your Amazon country. Okay? But Pantanal is ekdam niche. Okay? Clear? Will not forget, if the UPSC asks question, Pantanal wetlands are found in Brazil. It's indeed part of it, and they are part of Amazon forest, and they will link it cause and this relation wise. So it's internet. Okay? World's largest tropical wetlands, and it's a UNESCO biosphere reserve. Tonle Sap is again a biosphere reserve, UNESCO biosphere reserve. Again, it was in there. Then Platos Lagoon, UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve. Okay? We'll see 24 quick questions when we'll be doing when we'll be doing Asia. Okay? Okay, so which are the 3 countries? Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay. Okay, BBP, we'll remember. Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay. I think this is the last one. Yes, finally we have come to Galapagos. Okay, again it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is, penguins are found in where? Antarctica, southern South America, where? Chile, southern South America, Chile, right? Humboldt currents, right? Chile, again very near to Antarctica, which is the passage, which is a passage that is between southern South America and Antarctica. Drake Passage. Where is Magellan Passage? Where is the Magellan Strait? Drake Passage के कहाँ पर है? Anybody? उसके ठीक ऊपर. So this is your यहाँ पर. Understand this. Like UPSC might frame a question. This is your Drake Passage. Here you have your Antarctica. ठीक है? Ross Island. Remember Ross Island मतलब यहाँ पर Ross Island है. ठीक है? Here you have your Drake's Passage. Here this is your Magellan Strait. Magellan? Who was the Magellan? Went right. Yes, he went around the world. Right, not in 80 days. There is a very famous book by Jules Verne, Around the World in 80 Days. He did not go around the world in 80 days. Okay. So, Galapagos Islands. Again, so if there is a test tube of the richest, most pristine areas in the world, it's Galapagos. मतलब यहाँ पर it's one of the richest biodiversity area. There is one, so bird droppings होते हैं उसको right. So these bird droppings are very good fertilizers, right? Very good fertilizers जो वहाँ पर मिलते हैं. ठीक है. चलो, no, that's not important. Again, volcanic islands formed by hotspot volcanism. You remember hotspot volcanism? Which country? In India, hotspot volcanism is associated with which region? Deccan region. Excellent. And hotspot volcanism. You will remember hotspot volcanism. Which other areas? Right. ठीक है. Okay. जल्दी से complete करता है. I know like it's testing your patience. Okay. Galapagos penguins. These are the only penguins which is found near the equator. बाकी सब penguins south में मिलता है. And polar bears are found where? North. ठीक है. Penguins south. Penguins उड़ नहीं पाता इसलिए साउथ में गिरा रहता है. ठीक है. फ्लाइटलेस बर्ड्स है. ठीक है. लास्ट थिंग, so अच्छा, equator, like it's just beside so this is equator. Here is like 1,000 kilometers beside the equator. ठीक है. So the country Ecuador. ठीक है. So this is your Galapagos Island.